Hi, welcome to my channel. It's the first time I'm gonna do some sort of talking. Usually I just play, so I've been asked to create a tutorial on the Almoraima. This is a great piece by Paco de Lucia, and actually I learned it by just watching Grisha Garachev's interpretation of it, so which I like a lot. I think he contributes a lot to reinterpreting the old pieces and keeping them alive in a sense. So what I like about that piece is that it's actually he plays all the falsettas, as opposed to most of the people when they play they mix up Almoraima with Cepa Andaluza, and they create all sorts of mess out of the piece. I mean, not to mention that Paco actually played himself that way, but we'd like to be more or less, especially when trying to learn something, we try to kind of follow the structure of the original piece as closely as possible. So if you like to mix the falsettas later, that's fine. So what I wanted to actually talk about is, first of all, yes, I'm planning to release slow motion videos which are gonna explain basically the structure, and you will be seeing the metronome, which is very important in the beginning especially. So especially if you're a beginner, you have to lay out not only the melody but the compass. So you have to, flamenco is such music that I can, rhythmical part is actually more important probably than melodical part. I mean, there are different opinions about this, but if you're not in compass, if you're not follow the rhythm, then basically you're not playing flamenco, you're playing something else. That's why you should start learning everything in flamenco by learning the melody first, but then as soon as your fingers are okay with the melody so they can reproduce it, you need to start your metronome and try to play it with metronome in compass, emphasizing the right measures and the right strong beats. So my friend, which I've been using for a long time, is what's called Dr. Compass. Let me show you. This is a piece of software written by, sorry, the reflections are not letting me do this. So okay, right, like this. So this is something you can get on the store, in the App Store or Google Play. So it's available for both iPhones, and I have Android in this case. So the nice thing is that it's got all the rhythms that you might need, so in case you don't use it, you should buy it. I think this is an important investment, especially for a beginner. So actually that's what I used to record the first falsetta slowly. So, and you will see the overlay that is actually copied from this piece of software. So this is actually created in collaboration by Jason Maguire, who is a great flamenco guitarist currently residing in California, but I think he originally is from Texas. He also used to be a student of Pedro Cortés, whom I took lessons for quite a while with. So, and so anyway, his contribution is creating this really nice metronome. I think pretty much everyone in flamenco community, or especially like amateurs like myself, and beginners, we should use this thing. This is just, I don't think there's any way around this. So as I mentioned, once you learn the melody, you gotta play it with this guy, because if you don't play in the right beats, with the right beats, and emphasizing the right beats, then you are not playing flamenco, you're not playing Almoraima for that matter. So now this particular lesson that was before is for the very first falsetta. So I think I will do the short explanation. I think it actually makes a lot of sense to explain what's going on, because I just play it, so I'd like to also explain what I do. And like I said, I learned it by just slowing down the video by Grisha. I'm pretty sure if you are on this channel, if you're trying to watch this tutorial, then most likely you've already seen it. So I think if you haven't seen it yet, then just go in and watch it. Just type Grisha Garachev, Almoraima, so that's probably the first thing that will come out. So, and I guess my video is the only one which tries to play it from the beginning to the end. So, and some people told me that okay, it's kind of interesting to explain exactly what's going on, especially because I went through the process of trying to get through it. So I think it would be some service from my side to the community of people who are just trying to learn, right? So that's what I'm trying to do here. So what I wanted to apparently this after all this blob. So how do you use the tutorial? So the different ways to do it, right? So first of all, you can use YouTube to slow down this thing even more. So YouTube allows you to slow down without changing pitch, right? That's why I record it very slowly, so you can actually slow it down even more if you like, without drastically altering the sound quality. If you are to use original video of Grisha, you probably have to slow down even like not twice but 4 times, and at that point in time the sound quality that YouTube is supporting is not overly great. So because of this, I recorded it slower. Obviously you could have used the original video as well. So, but then on top of that, I'm gonna try to do some explanation which follows. So now before we go there, I think another important tool, as I mentioned, the first tool is Dr. Compass that you need to download. That's probably one and foremost. If you haven't done this, pay this $20 and you will be the luckiest man on earth for a number of years, guarantee. So now, the second piece of software that you need to have, I think, which will really help you, as opposed to using YouTube and slowing down the videos using the preset, say half speed, quarter speed. At quarter speed, this is the main, basically, this is the main speed that we want to learn something, right? And at quarter speed, I tried it myself. That doesn't make any sense. It's you can make sense of it, but you see a lot of spurious sounds that come out of YouTube. So that's why the other best friend that you should have in order to properly slow down the videos or MP4 files or like WAV files, any kind of sound that this is called Amazing Slowdowner. Again, it's a piece of software that was recommended by Jason McGuire, the same guy from Texas/California, whom I used to actually be a subscriber on a website for quite a while, about 10 years ago. So anyway, so he recommended this piece of software. At that point in time, there was no application on the phone, but there was software on PC. So anyway, if you go to App Store or if you go to Play Store, you will find Amazing Slowdowner. This is by someone like Robbie Music or something like that. Doesn't matter really. So find it. This software allows you to slow down without changing pitch and also without drastically changing the sound quality, which is very, very important because you don't want to hear all those spurious whatever sounds pop out of the slow down process. So you need a quality software to properly slow down music. So I recommend this thing. So how do you use, so this is in general if you want to endeavor and try to transcribe anything on your own, which I think is very important, especially once you master the basic technique. It's very important to go ahead and try to transcribe using your own ears, because flamenco is not supposed to be used by just reading notation. So that's actually how I started to learn it. About I would say 15 years ago, I tried to go ahead and I bought a bunch of transcribed stuff, and I actually started with the most complicated sound, like Vicente Amigo with all his crazy speeds on picados, and obviously I couldn't play that. Most importantly, what I couldn't do is play it in Compass. Even the simple stuff, it would be all over the place. Although for me it sounded fine. So, and that's precisely the thing which I'm trying to explain here. You have to, once you learn the melody, you have to kind of go in and try to set it down in the right beats. So. So how do you use the stuff that I recorded? I think there's another way. Because it's recorded so slowly, you can first of all use YouTube with the slow down button, right? Another thing which I discovered, there is a really nice website which is called ULoop. It's like YouTube, but it's ULoop. You know, I just found it recently. So that guy allows you to make a loop out of any YouTube video and basically play it in the loop. So what you can do is you can just put my slow motion video, slow down even more, and after that you can loop it and play along with me. So if you don't like me, you can do the same with the original video. So I think it's kind of equivalent, but I mentioned to you that you need, for Grisha's video, you have to slow down even more, like probably 4 times, at which point the sound quality wouldn't be really that great. What else to say? Yeah, so in Bulerias, I think we go now to actually discussing what's going on in the first in the beginning, and then in the first falseta. So especially in Almoraima, and especially in Buleria, you have to know basically where your 12, 3, 6, and 10 beats are. I think this is the most important, because you know, 12 is usually the beginning of the falseta. Sometimes they start on 10, but it's the majority starts on 12. So then 3 is the first strong beat in your compass or in falseta. So most of the time you would emphasize it this way or another way. Then 6 is like an equator, I would say, of the compass, which consists of 12 beats, right? So 6 is like an equator, so you kind of know if you're on equator, you should kind of know that you are on equator, right? And then 10 is usually when most of the falsetas end, and that's why it is also important, because usually there is a ending on this, and then in 2 beats a new falseta would start, or a new compass section would start. So you have to know these beats. Almoraima mostly starts on 12, although some of the falsetas do start on 10. So and that's why I included the metronome section, where you can see where it starts, and you will see that majority of the strong beats are on 6, and majority of the strong beats are on 12 and 6 in this very first falsetto. So now I'm gonna stop recording, and I'm gonna zoom out slightly and try to play with the zoom, so to make sure my videos are, my guitar can be seen again. Okay, just wanted to do a quick go over the first falsetto. So what do we have here? So it starts with the compass section that you know, it's strummed, but it's not played really. So you can play here whatever, as long as you emphasize the right beats and the right structure of Buleria. So I do something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as I mentioned, the Grisha doesn't even play exactly like that. So the point is, you choose your own pattern which fits the 12-beat structure of Buleria, and use it as long as you like it. So then we go to A chord. So the nice thing about this chord is that there is A note that is duplicated on 2 strings. That's why it sounds so nice. And then I use the Alzapua technique. But not only Alzapua technique, there's something else going on. So let's see what else. So basically it's a combination of Alzapua and Araheo. So this beats, when this thing happens, that's already not Alzapua, it's Araheo. So, and you can play basically different combinations of these 2 techniques, and I mean, as long as it doesn't get repetitive, it should sound fine. So now what about the next section? The next section is, as I mentioned, you need to know where your 12 and 6 is. That's very important. So this is 12, right? So 6. So this note starts right after 6, it's 7. 6. So so this whole slur of notes then is revolving basically around 12 and 6. So check my video with metronome to see exactly where those beats are. So then we go where? Sorry, my guitar probably went out of tune. Went out of tune because I just put new strings on. I wanted to record those videos with the new strings on. It means I am a responsible guy. Don't do just shitty videos, just try to do videos with new strings. See, yeah, it went out of tune, I'm sorry. Okay, let me stop it and then I'll continue once I retune it. Okay, so we are at this section. This is 12. This is 6. And this is 10, the ending of compass. The next section is slightly different. And then we have another Zappo slur that starts basically at 10. And I guess at this point in time, my very first tutorial in my life is concluded. So please, if you like the tutorial, and most importantly, if you don't like anything about this tutorial, let me know and subscribe to the channel. If you like the tutorial, then also please let me know what you don't like about it and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, bye.